Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. The Yukon Liberal Party Leadership Convention is currently underway. Over 1,000 registered members will decide the new leader and the Yukon's next premier. There are two people running to replace Ranj Pillay, who announced he was stepping down last month. The CBC's George Moratis is there live, and we're going to connect with him shortly to bring you up to speed on everything that's happening at the Yukon Liberal Party Leadership Convention tonight. The Competition Bureau is urging the nation's airline industry to loosen the rules around foreign ownership of Canadian airlines. The goal would be to increase competition, help lower fares, and improve service for travelers. But as Scott Peterson reports, experts say there may be a downside.
The competition watchdog is acknowledging probably what a lot of Canadians already feel, and that is prices are too high in Canada and there's a lack of competition. But the question is, how to change that. The Competition Watchdog has a variety of recommendations in its 117-page report released this morning, and primary among them are calls for more relaxed foreign ownership rules, letting foreign companies take ownership of Canadian airlines that only operate domestically. Another recommendation is letting individual international investors hold a larger share of voting interests, and right now that is restricted at 25%, and the proposal is moving that to 49%. The rationale there being that it would attract more international investment, but there is a downside to more foreign ownership, as this McGill professor points out.
Foreign ownership does have a price. It's not free money. And, the decisions that are going to be made by those carriers that have a significant influence by foreign carriers may not be in the best interest of Canadians.
And the report goes on to recommend allowing more international flights to more Canadian airports and to increase remote and northern flights by reviewing how airports are managed and funded. The report goes on to say that part of the problem of high fees is that there is not as much competition between the two big carriers as there used to be. Air Canada has been increasing routes in the east, with WestJet concentrating in the west, and route competition between them has fallen over the last few years. Now, on the plus side, moves by smaller players like Porter and Flair have been eating into the dominance of the big two. But according to the report by the Competition Bureau, when there is more competition on domestic routes, airfares have fallen by 9% on average. And according to the 117-page report, finding more competition is key to lower prices. Scott Peterson, CBC News, Toronto.
As we heard from Scott, the Competition Bureau also covered well-known issues about northern air travel. The report points out the industry faces specific challenges and says things need to change to better serve communities. One solution: create more competition. Emma Tranter has those details.
A need for competition in a market with almost no options. The Competition Bureau says limited air transportation in Nunavut contributes to the territory's isolation. More competition will mean lower prices, improved services, better flight schedules, and expanded network options. Canadian North and Calm Air serve the majority of Nunavut, with most northern routes served by only one airline. That severely limits the competition. Northern airlines also face a long list of problems. Canadian North says it cancels 175 flights because of weather each month. The study also heard that gravel runways and insufficient runway lights restrict the type of aircraft that can land. The report says government funding favors existing airlines, and airline regulations are not tailored to the north. Pilots work longer hours, and there are rarely hotel rooms if flights get canceled. The report makes 3 recommendations: to establish a national working group focused on flying in remote areas, to tailor regulations to the northern context, and to promote competition by upgrading northern airports and opening government contracts to more bidders. Emma Tranter, CBC News, Yellowknife.
In the Yukon, the Selkirk First Nation is now the first Indigenous nation in Canada to own a mine. The Yukon Supreme Court approved the second half of Minto Mine's sale. It officially closed yesterday. The nation now owns both the physical assets on the site, as well as the mineral rights, water licenses, and permits.
This moment marks a shift in Selkirk First Nation's role from landowner without authority to full owner with the ability to implement our rights under the final agreements in a meaningful way. With ownership of the key assets tied to the site, Selkirk is now positioned to guide its future in a way that reflects our values, responsibilities, and long-term vision.
Optimism that production at the mine will restart, but nothing will be decided until after an exploration period. That will last between 18 and 24 months. Exploration could start as early as this summer. The Caribou migration is underway near Rankin Inlet, Nunavut. The local Hunters and Trappers organization has made recommendations to improve the road crossings before the herd arrives near the Meliadine mine and community. The CBC's Noel Kalujak has more.
Agnico Eagle's 25-kilometer road connecting the Meliadine mine to Rankin Inlet has been busy since it was built in 2013. Traffic is raising concern the local Hunters and Trappers organization as the Caribou migration begins. Kangatlanak Hunters and Trappers organization, KHTO, is working with Agnico Eagle to protect the herd during its road crossing. Sam Alawalak is the HTO president. He says they have made recommendations to AEM to improve the road so the caribou will cross smoothly. We asked the mine to install poles instead of flags as the caribou are sensitive to moving objects and they will divert to a different direction. Also, pipes for the saline water are too large for caribou to jump over, so we asked the mine to cover them completely with sand and not crushed gravel, as the crushed gravel is sharp and caribou will not walk on those. Agnico Eagle spokesperson Pujut Kushugak says the company has made changes.
Yeah, we've worked with the Kangatlanak Hunters and Trappers organization in the past as well, and there was a request coming from the KHTO and with the advice from elders in Rankin Inlet that the saline water line, the construction going on from Meliadine to Rankin at Itivia be covered, and Agnico Eagle has committed to covering 90% of the water line. We very much depend on our local hunters and the Kivalak Inuit Association to make sure that we're doing things properly.
The community of Rankin Inlet is anticipating the arrival of the thousands of caribou in the next few days. Noel Kalujak, CBC News, Rankin Inlet.
A judge has rejected a request to fast-track a case involving French education in Fort Smith NWT. The case was brought forward by a group of parents who are suing the Northwest Territories government. They want a French-first language school in the community. Without one, they say their charter rights are being denied. Parents hoped for a French-first language program starting in September, but the judge says there wouldn't be enough time to set it up, even if they won their case. The group hopes to start a small program under the territory's French language school board and says a new school wouldn't be necessary until the enrollment numbers can justify it. Parents say the current options don't work for Francophone families, and they're already seeing their children start to lose their first language.
If I stop making him repeat, then he will stop speaking to me in French. If I fall into that cycle, then that language, his handling of our heritage language will be lost. I think we all share a common desire to see our children being able to speak with their elders and families in their heritage language. And we can't be who we are without our languages.
Cote says her son is also learning Chippewan in school. She says this fight is about supporting all languages and that every language deserves space in the classroom. Cote says their group is ready to stand with other parents who want better language representation in schools. This is the 5th time a Francophone group in the NWT has sued the government over education rights. The GNWT says it won't comment on the case while it's before the courts. As we told you earlier, in just a few hours, we will know who the next premier of the Yukon will be. The Yukon Liberal Party is gathering right now in downtown Whitehorse to vote for a new leader. There are 2 people running to replace Ranj Pillay, who announced he was stepping down last month. Tonight's winner will be sworn in as premier in the coming weeks. This is the first time in decades that the Yukon Liberals have held a leadership convention. In recent years, every leader has been acclaimed to the role. George Moratis is at the leadership convention live. George?
Yes, hi Megan. We've connected, and right now that's what the two candidates are trying to do, connect with the party members. Excitement in the air. There's about 200 people here that are casting their vote. They have between 4 and 8 o'clock tonight to do so. At stake, Liberal leadership, but also becoming the 11th premier of the Yukon. The two candidates. Doris Bill was the first to announce her candidacy. That name might be familiar to viewers. She was a longtime CBC Yukon journalist. Once she left the CBC, she served 3 terms for the Kwanlin Dun First Nation from 2014 until 2023. Now, Mike Pemberton, he entered the race a little more recently, and the impetus for him was to have a race. As you mentioned, it's something the party hasn't had in 20 years, 2 decades, going back to 2005 when Arthur Mitchell defeated Pat Duncan. Former Premier Sandy Silver was acclaimed. Most recent Premier, current Premier Ranj Pillay, he was also acclaimed. So Mike Pemberton said, I want to have a race. Part of the reason he wanted to build interest in the party, but make no means about it, he wants to be the party leader. He brings 30 years of private sector experience, a local businessman. He's been connected to the party for 20 years, most recently vice president of the party. He had to step away from that role to enter the leadership race. So around 6:30 is when both candidates are going to be kind of speaking to the party members. 8 o'clock, the polls close. They start tallying the votes, and then soon after that, we'll have a sense of who the new leader of the Liberal Party is, but with that, who the new premier of the Yukon, the 11th premier of the Yukon. If it's Doris Bill, it'll mark the first time a born and raised Yukoner is premier. It'll also be the first time a First Nations citizen is premier of the Yukon. So lots of excitement, lots at stake, and we'll have full coverage tonight right here on CBC North, and of course tomorrow on CBC Yukon. But yeah, lots at stake because whoever does win the race, they're going to be the premier, and they're going to be taking on these issues of affordability, of community safety, crime, all of the above. So yeah, it's a big vote tonight, and you can tell party members are just excited that they get a chance to do that. As mentioned, it's been 20 years since they have had a contested leadership race.
Absolutely. So much to keep an eye on. Thank you so much, George. I know you're on top of it. That's the CBC's George Moratis live in Whitehorse. As George mentioned, CBC North will have full coverage of tonight's results. You can find those on our webpage. And for viewers in the Yukon, outgoing Premier Ranj Pillay will be live in studio with host Ellen Jones tomorrow on Yukon Morning. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced new measures targeted at the industry hit hardest by U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs. Calls for help from the steel and aluminum sectors are growing, including for counter tariffs. But as Ashley Burke reports, Carney says he'll only do that if there's no deal with Trump next month.
Back from talks with Donald Trump, the Prime Minister has a 30-day deadline to broker a deal, but is under pressure to act now.
The government is responding to the impact of the unjust U.S. tariffs with multiple tools.
Mark Carney announcing new tools to prop up the aluminum and steel industry, reeling from Trump's tariffs stuck at 50%. Canada's now releasing a new quota, hitting more than 60 countries.
A quota for the amount of steel that can come in from third countries, to limit that amount, to stabilize the market.
If there's no deal with the White House by July 21st, Carney also suggested he could hike Canada's counter tariffs against the U.S.
The fact that there's now a deadline set by the two leaders, I think, has focused the conversation. So I'm optimistic over the next 3.5 weeks that we can make some progress.
But the industry says it wants counter tariffs that match the U.S. now and is running out of time.
The context is that we are in a 50% tariff situation, which is extremely tense for our industry across North America. Basically, it's unsustainable. So 30 days at 50%, it's a long walk in the desert.
The government says it's aware there's a sense of urgency.
We know that the Canadian steel and aluminum workers are very anxious and they want us to come up with a solution really, really quickly.
Ontario's premier says the government must protect manufacturers here.
If the president doesn't come to the table, I'll give him my full support on full-out tariffs of 50% on steel. But let's see what happens.
The new program is designed to get Canadian companies to use domestic steel by making foreign imports too expensive. The Prime Minister is expected to meet with premiers tomorrow to talk about the program and the next steps. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
The ongoing trade war is hard on many industries, but others are thriving. It's giving the Canadian wine industry a reason to raise a glass. Homegrown vintages are seeing a boost in sales from the Buy Canadian movement. But as Nisha Patel reports, it's a case of sour grapes for American exporters.
Forget California reds, Canadian shoppers are making a switch.
Now that the American wines are off the shelves, I'm finding myself in the Ontario section a little bit more.
U.S. wine imports fell more than 90% in April as provincial governments took American products off store shelves in the face of the trade war.
Buy local is very real. We're seeing it in Nova Scotia. We're seeing it in British Columbia.
The boycott is giving Canadian producers a boost. The Liquor Control Board of Ontario says sales of wine made with Ontario grapes have jumped more than 60%.
I like seeing a little Canadian sticker on all my products now.
I think we're just more willing to put money back into our own economy.
So it's Riesling, Chardonnay, and Pinot.
That's keeping spirits high at Flat Rock Cellars, which is having one of its best sales years ever.
They've gone up, probably 30, 40, 50% over the months. Since the tariffs kicked in.
They released their awards.
Manager Jacob Glantz says he also expects the winery to get a boost from tourists this summer.
And they're realizing, holy moly, we actually make some really great world-class wines here in Ontario, and they might not go back.
Ontario plans to continue its ban, though Alberta and Saskatchewan say they will start selling American booze again. Wine sellers hope the change in buying behavior is permanent.
But I've heard from people that, they really want to stick with local wine even after. So I think regardless of what kind of happens in the future, I don't think we're going back to the way things were.
Provincial governments are also working with Ottawa, trying to break down interprovincial trade barriers to make it easier for producers to sell their wines across the country. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
It is the worst ever air crash at sea.
This was Canada's 9/11.
The warning signs were there and the warning signs were missed.
One threatened into silence, the other one murdered.
Air India was the first act of terrorism of its kind in the world.
Lost my wife, lost my daughter, lost everything.
All those hopes and dreams just gone.
2 Suitcases, Anatomy of the Air India Bombing.
We're always doing something that's connected to music, and it always finds a way to bring us closer as a family, closer physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally.
I realize how important it is to have the representation of it, to have Indigenous folk on stage, singing their songs, doing their thing.
What I can say is that I feel connected, which is cool.
Don't miss Resonate, Songs of Resilience.
This astonishing world, with its infinite possibilities, calls to the world shapers, impact makers, visioneers. Together, let's unlock potential everywhere.
The Yukon is getting a new territorial park, and it's right in the heart of Whitehorse. The CBC's Asad Chishti tells us all about it.
This is Chasenchua, also known as McIntyre Creek. This is where it meets the Yukon River. Today, it is a brand new territorial park. Years of work have gone into making this a park. Collaboration between Kwanlundun First Nation, Ta'an Quechan Council, City of Whitehorse, Yukon Government, and Parks Canada.
So we add an area now 9 times the size of Stanley Park. It's an amazing collaboration, and I know that a lot of groups have advocated for this.
Niels Clark is the Yukon Minister of Environment. He says there is more detailed work ahead.
And there will be members of Tonquichan, Kwanlundun, of Yukon government and City of Whitehorse that will form the steering committee so that they will determine what this park will look like and the various uses.
Sean Smith is chief of Kwanlundun First Nation. He says he is excited about this new development, and he grew up alongside this creek.
I heard many elders within our traditional territory of both Kwanlundun and Ta'an, as well as other nations that have lived here. Just the connection of the creek and opportunities for younger generations to have access to that, to enjoy the nature within it, and just to, I think it's been part of many young people's childhoods, including mine.
Chasanchua Territorial Park will now protect almost 36 square kilometers of land. Mineral staking is now also permanently prohibited. Asa Chishti, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Access to Canada's national parks, historic sites, and marine conservation areas will be free this summer. The federal government announced the Canada Strong Pass earlier this week. From June 20th to September 2nd, Canadians and visitors won't have to pay to enter a national park. National parks in the Yukon already have free entry, but locals and visitors can still take advantage of other savings, especially in the Dawson City area.
We're offering free admission to Dredge No. 4 National Historic Site outside Dawson City, and also to SS Keno National Historic Site right on Front Street in Dawson City. So people who come to those heritage vessels will be able to go on board. They'll have their program tour. They'll still have to pay the fee for the interpretive programming, but the entry fee will be waived. And I think most people probably know that in northern national parks, we don't usually have an admission fee. So for example, at Kluane National Park and Reserve, you don't come to a gate and pay an entry fee already. But we will be able to take advantage of camping discounts at Chilkoot Trail National Historic Site, in Kluane National Park and Reserve. Also for folks who are adventuring far into the north up to Ivavik National Park or Vuntut, there'll be discounts there for overnight accommodation and for camping fees.
The discount at campsites will be 25%. Burden says those who already purchased campsites for the summer are eligible for a refund. She expects visitor traffic to increase at Yukon National Parks this summer with the new initiative. A youth program in Winnipeg may have to shut down. The nonprofit behind it just saw its funding denied for the first time, and now it's racing to find other support. The Tungasugit Resource Center has been running a youth program for around 2 years. It offers a safe space for Inuit to connect, get support, and take part in cultural activities. The program was funded every year by the Inuit Child First Initiative, but this time that funding was denied. Tungasugit's executive director says this isn't just about programming, it's about saving lives.
I can't express how sad it made me feel to receive that letter, and how it just means I have to work that much harder to find funding because I am not giving up. We just need more help.
The center now has emergency support to keep the program going for around 9 more weeks, but after that it could shut down. Angu is calling on other funders, including the government of Nunavut, to help keep it alive. Igulik's Inuit Circus Group will be bringing its signature moves to the Airline stage. The performance comes after the group lost its performing arts space to a fire earlier this year. The Kipsigak Arena is home to Artsik's Black Box. It burned down in February. Since then, the group has been jumping between other community facilities to practice. 2 of the group's performers say they're thankful to be able to continue entertaining Nunavummiut.
I have been enjoying seeing familiar faces here. I'm so happy we have been able to use the schools to practice, although it is all new to me. It has been so nice. My fellow Inuit, be good and be safe this summer. We've had a tough winter and spring. Now let's relax and enjoy.
Airline begins today, and Art Cirque will be taking the stage on Sunday evening for the closing show. LA Night is always a much anticipated event, and so too are the Arctic Winter Games. The countdown is on for the 2026 Games in Whitehorse. This week, delegates from all 8 participating regions are there to see what progress has been made. But there's a big question hanging over the Games right now. Who will host in 2028? This is the first time there hasn't been a host city selected this close to the next event.
The Northwest Territories was scheduled for 28. But due to some financial situations, they've had some disasters, some costs kind of problematic, and their volunteer resources have been highly tapped. So they declined formally to host. We engaged in a conversation with Alberta about hosting. Currently, the conditions there are in negotiation, if you will. There's still an opportunity, but we're not sure. But we're looking at every potential option for hosting in 2028. So,
if no host is found, the Games may end up being delayed until 2029. Meanwhile, organizers say preparations for next year's Games are on track. The Games start officially on March 8th. Indigenous Peoples Day is on Saturday, which means this weekend is a long weekend for people in the NWT and Yukon. And everyone is being asked to be extremely careful with fires. In the Yukon, level 3 fire restrictions are in place for most of the territory. That means only fires used for cooking or warming are allowed, and they must be in approved fire pits or containers. Meanwhile, NWT Fire says the risk of new wildfires will be very high across much of the territory right through until Monday. Conditions are extremely dry across much of the territory. The southern regions of the NWT will also be seeing higher temperatures. Both factors increase fire danger. NWT Fire says the danger will stay high until the territory sees some rain, but there isn't any of that expected until the end of June. Let's take a look now at the forecast for your region. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. That's also where you'll find live updates on the Liberal Party Leadership Convention in Whitehorse. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.